You step into the shower, the water hits your shoulders, and somewhere between rinsing your hair and reaching for the soap, you start talking. Out loud. To no one. Maybe you're rehearsing an argument you'll never have. Maybe you're narrating your own day like a sportscaster. Maybe you're just muttering, half words, half thoughts, spilling out into the steam. You probably think this is a quirk, a weird little habit, something private and slightly embarrassing. But the real answer is far stranger. This isn't a glitch in your brain. It's a feature that's been running since before language even had a name. Your ancestors did it too. Not in showers, obviously, but in caves, around fires, walking alone through grass taller than their heads. And the reason they did it is the same reason you do it now, scrubbing shampoo into your scalp at 7 in the morning. Let's go back. Not centuries, hundreds of thousands of years. Early humans lived in small, scattered groups. Survival depended on two things working together: thinking clearly and not getting eaten. That sounds simple. It wasn't. A human alone on the savannah was slow, weak, and badly armed compared to almost every predator nearby. The only real advantage humans had was the brain, and the brain needed a way to organise itself fast, especially when the body was under stress. This is where psychologist Lev Vygotsky comes in. In the 1930s, Vygotsky studied something most adults had stopped noticing. Children talk to themselves constantly while solving problems. A child stacking blocks will say out loud, "This one goes here. No, that's too big." Vygotsky called this private speech. He argued it wasn't random. It was thinking, externalized. The child hadn't yet learned to do this thinking silently inside their head, so it spilled out through their mouth instead. Here's the part most people miss. Vygotsky didn't think private speech disappeared as we grew up. He thought it went underground. It became what we now call inner speech, the silent voice narrating your thoughts right now as you listen to this. But under the right conditions, stress, focus, repetition, that inner voice climbs back out. It becomes audible again, just like it was when you were 5. A shower is one of those conditions. Think about what's actually happening in there. You're alone. You're in a small enclosed space. There's white noise from the water, which blocks out distractions. Your hands are busy with a repetitive task, washing, rinsing, the same motions every single day. Your brain, freed from needing to focus on a complex task, drifts. And when it drifts, it often returns to unfinished business. A conversation you wish had gone differently, a plan for tomorrow, a worry you haven't resolved. Talking it out loud, even to no one, helps you organise it. This isn't just a theory. In 2011, psychologists Gary Lupyan and Daniel Swingley ran an experiment where people had to search for an object, like a specific fruit, in a cluttered photo. Some participants said the object's name out loud while searching. Others stayed silent. The ones who spoke the word aloud found the object faster. Saying it out loud sharpened their focus. Their brains used the sound of their own voice as a kind of compass, a way to lock onto the target and ignore everything else. Why would that work? Because speaking activates more of your brain than silent thinking does. When you think a sentence silently, only certain regions fire. When you speak that same sentence out loud, even quietly, you add auditory processing. You hear yourself. Your brain treats your own voice as outside information, almost like another person giving you instructions. And outside information gets weighted differently than internal noise. It feels more real, more trustworthy. This is also why people talk to themselves more under stress, not less. A 2014 study by psychologist Ethan Kross found something almost paradoxical. When people coached themselves through stressful tasks, like a public speaking challenge, using their own name instead of I, they performed better and felt calmer. Saying, "You can do this, Sarah," instead of "I can do this," created psychological distance. It let the brain treat the encouragement the way it would treat advice from someone else, someone calmer, someone outside the panic. Your ancestors didn't have public speaking anxiety, but they had something just as threatening: decision-making under danger. Imagine standing at the edge of unfamiliar territory, deciding whether to cross a river with a strong current, or backtrack through land where a predator was spotted yesterday. There was no committee to consult, no friend to call, just you, and a brain trying to simulate every possible outcome in seconds. Speaking the problem aloud, even alone, may have given early humans the same edge it gives you searching for fruit in a photo. It sharpened the signal. It separated the important thought from the background noise of fear. Here's the counterintuitive twist. For most of history, talking to yourself in public was treated as a symptom. Something was wrong with you. Doctors in the 19th century associated it with mental illness. Even now, you probably feel a flicker of embarrassment if someone catches you doing it outside the shower, in a parking lot, in your kitchen. But the data tells a different story. Multiple studies, including work building on Vygotsky's framework, have found that self-talk, especially the instructional kind, okay, next step, focus, correlates with better performance on complex tasks, not worse. Athletes use it deliberately, surgeons use it, chess players use it. The people who are best at staying calm under pressure often talk to themselves the most, not the least. So the habit you've been quietly embarrassed about may actually be evidence of a brain doing exactly what it evolved to do. Now think about the shower again, but differently this time. It isn't a strange place where your privacy slips and weird mutterings escape. It's one of the only environments left in modern life that replicates the exact conditions your ancestors needed to think clearly. Alone, low stimulation, repetitive physical motion, no screens demanding your attention, no one watching. Most of your day doesn't look like that. You're surrounded by notifications, other people's voices, tasks competing for attention. Your inner voice gets crowded out, buried under input. The shower is one of the rare moments it gets room to breathe, and it climbs back into your mouth the way it did when you were a child, stacking blocks. This is why so many people report their best ideas in the shower. It isn't magic. It's your evolutionary thinking system finally getting the quiet it was built to use. So tonight or tomorrow morning, when you catch yourself mid-sentence under the water, talking to no one about a conversation that hasn't happened yet, don't feel strange about it. You're not malfunctioning. You're doing something humans have done since long before they had fire, long before they had language as we know it, long before they had walls or running water at all. You're using your own voice to think out loud, because somewhere in your ancestry, the humans who did this stayed sharper, decided faster, and survived longer than the ones who stayed silent. You step out of the shower, the water stops, and the voice goes quiet again, back underground, waiting for the next small, empty room to bring it out.